Okay, Safiullah brother. Can I ask you a question, a quick question? How do you manage your database?
Yes, thank you for the question. First of all, we check the
Come close to the mobile, please, because it's in recording.
Okay, first of all, we check the configurations, then check the properties of database,
Good.
and then check the shrinks.
We make sure.
To make sure the shrinks.
We make sure.
We make sure the shrinks.
The auto close should be
off, and fill factor will be more than should be 30%.
Let's go one by one. Auto close should be off. Auto shrink should be off. Auto shrink, auto close. These two commands should be off. We make sure auto close should be off, auto shrink should be off, fill factor should be assigned a percentage, should be assigned a percentage.
Should be assigned to.
Should be assigned a percentage from 25 to 30%.
30%.
Auto update statistics, auto create statistics should be off. Should be on. These two properties should be on, and the rest should be off. So we make sure that the data file and log file should reside in two different disks and locations. We should have at least one log file and multi-data file. The log file size should be 50% of the whole data files. That's it. How do you manage your database?
Thank you very much for asking this important question. We go to the database configuration. We check the auto.
We make sure
the auto close should be off. We make sure auto shrink should be off.
Good. One by one بيجي کاسان شو برای خواندنش برای یاد گرفتنش. همینطور چیزایی که میگی مالی یارا اینجا شماره وار یا نمبر وار بزنیش.
Yeah, and we check the file factor. Fill factor, which should be 25 to 30%. And after that,
auto create.
We check the auto create or auto update statistics should be on, and we must resident the data file in one disk. And
we should make sure the data file and log file should reside
in different files
in two different disk locations.
Yeah, and at least we have one data file and multiple log files.
Multiple log files.
Yeah.
Multiple log files.
Yeah.
You said the opposite.
One log file.
One log file and multi data file.
Yeah, one log file in multiple data files.
The log file size should be?
Yeah, the log file size should be 50% of the data files. And the auto growth option.
عملی کار میکنی Inshallah. The auto growth option should be configured properly.
Yeah.
The auto growth option should be configured properly. To not run continuously.
To avoid the fragmentation.
How to configure
fragmentation?
It means based on your needs. If you have many operations in your database, so when the database reaches to the bottleneck, it means to the fullness, so you should provide enough space to the data and log file. If you provide less space to the data log file, so the auto growth will run multiple times. This running multiple times the auto growth, because you're doing a bulk insert operation. This operation is like 1 million records. 1 million records. If your data file and log file is not enough, properly configured, so this writing records in log file and kicking the checkpoint committed data will flash to the data file. This process is when the data file and log file is becoming full. The auto growth will run multiple times until 1 million record is written to disk properly, completely. So if the data file and log file doesn't have enough space, the auto growth will run multiple times. So based on your operation, you need to configure the auto growth properly based on your operations, like maybe bulk operation, delete operation, insert operation, generate new indexes, creating new indexes. So it is causing the database fragmentation if it runs multiple times. Also, it will put a hold on the user operations. Users are not able to access this data and log file to this database until it creates new space. It will provide new space to the data and log file. The users are not able to use the database. Okay, I think it was a simple definition. How do you manage your database? Now close your computer. No, just from your memory.
Configure initial size of your database and have enough space.
No, first of all, organize your answer and be confident. Whatever you are saying, be confident on that. That the listener should know what you know. The listener should realize that you know. How do you manage your database?
You don't confuse the listener.
A quick question: how do you manage your database in your environment? As you mentioned that you are a qualified, a certified DBA. You have enough experience, almost 5 to 6 years. So how do you manage your database?
First of all, we configure the initial size of the database to have enough space. The data file and the log file should reside in different disks.
Okay, good.
Also, the log file should have 50%
Of the data.
of the data, and also there should be one log file and multiple data file. Also, we have to have auto close.
We make
sure that auto close and auto
auto
shrink is
off.
and auto
Update statistics and create statistics should be on.
update
Create the statistics.
update
Update
statistics should be on, and
Fill factor
fill factor should be
assigned
a percentage not more than 30%, and not also not assigned 0 or 100%.
Okay, good. So what's auto growth?
Auto growth should be also configured properly. It is
Based
based on the data.
Based on the operations.
But the operations-
Operations, we should have
enough
configure the auto growth.
configure the auto growth.
What is the auto growth?
Auto means automatically.
The
Growth
file's
means
gonna grow
give more
automatically.
space. Automatically give this much space. When the initial size of a data file reach to 100%,
It's maximum.
then automatically give them this much space. It means auto growth. Okay, it was a good
Practice, yeah.
practice and nice answers. So
Thank you.
okay, who's gonna ask me this question? What is the
Welcome to
My channel.
our office. For the DBA position. So, Karim Nuri, can you explain me how to manage your database?
Thank you so much to giving me this opportunity to come and share my experiences with you guys. So it's a good question. I was expecting to be asked this question, that how do you manage your database, because this is one of the important day-to-day activity of a DBA to manage their databases. So let me to go deep dive into how to manage a database. So we check the configuration and the property of the database first. We make sure that the property of auto close and auto shrink should be off. We make sure that the create statistics and update statistics should be on. We make sure that the fill factor should be assigned a percentage from 25 to 30%. We make sure that the data file and log file should reside in two different disk locations. Also, we make sure that there should be multiple data file and one log file. The log file size should be 50% of all the data files.
Okay, that's enough. Thank you.
Also, we need to make sure that the auto growth property should be configured properly. The auto growth property of the database should be configured properly based on the operations and needs of the users. So
Thank you. You are hired.
thank you so much.